Hey entrepreneurs, Dominique here from the Domino Effect, and thank you for tuning in today. In today's training, we're going to talk about the importance of your financials. If you are just starting a business and if you are ready to get funded, or if you already have a business and you need to get funded, then this is exactly the right channel where you need to be. Here you're going to find all free courses and trainings on how to set up a fundable business and make yourself attractive in the eyes of credit issuers, lenders, and investors. I'm Dominique. I've been in the alternative finance space for 6 years. I've underwritten hundreds of applications and I've worked with startups all the way to multi-million-dollar companies. And this channel is for you. I absolutely love entrepreneurship. I absolutely love small business. You can literally change your life. And why not start today? 2025, I say, is the year of the raise. And I want to help you guys raise enough capital so that you can take advantage of your dreams, support your family, get that freedom that you want, that independence, so you don't have to rely on anybody else, right? You can create your life for you. So if you find the information on this channel helpful, then do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to make more free courses and trainings just like this one. So in today's training, I want to talk to you about financials. Underwriters want to see what you got going on. So if you don't know exactly what that means, what the financials are, what that means for you, what you need to submit, what they're looking for, how much money you should be asking for. If you're asking for that much money, what are they going to want to see? If you want some clarity on that and how you can set your business up for success moving forward, you're in the right place, and let's get into it. Guys, one of the biggest challenges that I've seen, and I've experienced this in my business when I was first starting, is not paying attention to the financials until it's too late. Eventually, you're going to need money to grow your business. Every business needs money to scale, whether that's for marketing, getting new clients, research and development, expanding to a new location. Maybe you've hit a hardship. A lot of businesses had a hardship with COVID, and who knows what's going to happen in the future, inflation. Whatever that reason is, at some point, every business goes through seasons and cycles and is going to need funding. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see, especially among women, especially amongst people of color who don't have access to this information and this resources. First of all, I'm so glad you're here because it is part of the mission of why I started this. So many underfunded women, veterans, minorities, the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs that cannot access this capital. And if you ask me, it is not the fact that there's no money out there. It is simply the fact that they don't know how to access it. And when they go to the bank, the one resource that they believe that they have and can rely on, when they go there with this great idea, this invention, or with their business that they need help with, and the bank says no, well, then what do they do, right? What do you do? Well, a lot of businesses, they're dipping into their personal credit. They're dipping into their personal savings, personal funds. And when you don't know what to do there, you can hit a wall. I've seen credit scores go from 750 all the way down to under 500, just building up their businesses. Now, eventually, are you going to want to use your credit score? Yeah, eventually. But you don't need to do that in the beginning, y'all. So what can you do to set yourself up? And today's class is all about your financials. Guys, if you are just starting a business, one of the things you need to know is what banks look for. Now, traditional banks are looking for 2 years' time in business. They're also looking for a profitable business. They want to see good credit scores. So not just the fact that you have a 700 credit score. Are you current? Are you good with all of your other bills? You don't have any delinquent, all this other stuff. So you want to make sure you have a very nice, clean profile. Okay. That makes them feel nice and happy and cozy, right? Especially with everything that happened with Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank. Banks are closing. So they are looking at your applications like under a microscope. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't want to lend to you. Banks want to lend to you because how else are they going to stay in business? They need you, just like you need them. So don't let them fool you. Banks need you, okay? They need your deposits in order to function, and they want to be able to give you loans so that the community can grow, you can grow, your family can grow, all of this stuff. So in order to get to where you want to be, let's start there. We know what the banks are looking for. 2 years time in business, 700 credit score. Okay. Most people aren't going to have that in the very beginning, right? How are you going to have 2 years time in business if you're just starting, right? Now, there are solutions. Let's say there are microloan programs through CDFIs, which are community development financial institutions, which are great. They help a lot of entrepreneurs in low-income areas or, people of color. So they really work to help out underrepresented groups. One of the things you're going to need, though, for certain programs like that is you need a good credit score, 680 and above, and you need a business plan. So if you don't have revenue, you got a good credit score, you got a business plan. So what's my point here? Well, my point here is you have options. You have many options. You can look at microloans, you can look at SBA funding, you can look at revenue-based financing, you can look at business credit, you can look at credit cards, you can even look at personal loans or asset-based lending, accounts receivable. There is a ton of options out there for you. But despite all of these options out there, you have to make sure that you're prepared. When you go in front of either one of these options, they're going to ask you for the same things. How long have you been in business? What do you do? What's your plan for, what are your projections? What do you have? So let's get into the documents that you need. If you are requesting an amount that's 150,000 or less, then you could get away with bank statements. 3 to 6 months of bank statements. If you live in California, you're going to want to submit 4 months of bank statements. And we're not talking about business bank statements here, guys. We're talking personal bank statements. We're talking about business bank statements. Now, if you have under 2 years time in business, then, and let's say you have some revenue, then you have options as far as like revenue-based financing, MCA, which is a merchant cash advance, but you don't want to do a merchant cash advance unless you have a plan to exit. You do not want to be getting merchant cash advances and just hopping into debt spirals, okay? Because that's exactly what it is. If you just stack MCAs and you don't have a way to get out, you're going to end up in a debt spiral and you're going to end up in a worse situation. So make sure you have a plan for it. MCA should only be used as a bridge to a capital event. You got to get out of there in 90 days, 3 months to 6 months, get out. Okay, so don't hold on to those MCAs. That being said, you also want to be advised that these type of options are really great. They're really great for if you have a short-term need, if you just need to get inventory and you can flip that inventory really quickly. If you've got a job coming up really quick, a job coming up soon, and you just need funding to hire that crew so you can get in there and start performing, and then you can move up to the next step, right? So you are able to do all of these things if you have some type of revenue. Now, keep in mind these alternative financiers, now we're talking about alternative financing outside of the traditional bank. They want to see a few things as far as your financial documents, okay? So what do they want to see? Well, they want to see your bank statements. So they want to see 3 months of bank statements. Now, if you're in California, be prepared to submit 4 months, okay? You will be submitting 4 months of bank statements. And it's going to be, let's say they want to see a threshold of 25,000 a month. Used to be 10,000 a month. Can you get away with 10,000 a month? You can, but it's sweeter, obviously, the higher it is. So 25,000 a month, and I'll give you an example here. There's a lot of businesses, this affects a lot of businesses that hits them hard on this one. Let's say you get 15,000 your first month, and your second month, or not your first month, let's say you're in June. Okay, you've already got a few months ahead. Now in June, you've got 15,000. July, you hit 20,000. August, you hit 8,000. September, you're at 30,000. October, 35. November, 50,000. December, 60,000. They're not going to count. They're only going to count from when it started being consistent. So even though it started at 15 here in 20, when you drop down to 8, that affected it. So those are some, but the good news is you have October, November, December, January. So you can use the October, November, December, January. And what they'll do is they'll give you a percentage of funding. But the only way to get through that part and that process is to have your bank statements ready, to be depositing into a business bank account. Okay, for all my people that are e-commerce, drop shipping, if you're on PayPal, if you're on Shopify, you need to transfer the funds out of your Shopify account. Okay, I don't want to see anybody else leaving the money there. Stop leaving your money in there and stop transferring it to your personal. Okay, transfer to your business account first. What I see a lot is when businesses are getting paid through PayPal or Venmo or Shopify, and they're transferring it to their personal account. And then whatever's left over is going to the business. That's wrong. You guys got to flip-flop that, because basically the lender is going to look at your personal documents unless you're applying for a personal loan or a substantial loan. We're not going to look at your personal bank statements. So basically, all of that money that you made, you could have made $50,000 that month. And you're like, I know I made $50,000 from my business, but your account is only reflecting 10. That is the only thing that they're going to go off of. So be aware and advised of that. So your documents that you want to have, if you're looking at a quick short-term loan financially, you want to have 3 months of business bank statements. In California, you want to have 4. You want to be separating your finances, depositing into your business bank account. And one thing I want to point out here too, be advised when you're applying with online lenders, most of these online lenders, they work with each other. Not just that, they have an algorithmic system. So this is what I touch on in my other trainings, guys. This system is going to ask you your name, your business name, your email, your revenue, right? And if you've filled out any of these and you know what I'm talking about, they're going to ask you for this stuff and then you fill it out and then you get to a certain point and you're like, oh, this is going pretty good. Then all of a sudden it spits out a, ooh, sorry, you don't qualify. Well, guess what? You actually might qualify, but it could be something fundamentally that's wrong. Maybe your address is not matching. Maybe the email is off. Something is going on there. So the bonus of working with a platform like DFX is we have advisors that work with you and we can really dig into what's going on there. But so if you're looking, you've got monthly revenue here of 10 to 25,000, 25 to 50,000, or 50,000 or more, they're going to give you a percentage. So financial documents are pretty simple, that you don't really need anything for something small like this. Now, I'm going to show you some templates, guys. I want to show you these templates because these are as we step into the larger financing. Let's say you need 150,000, you need 200,000, 300,000, 4, maybe even $1 million. Okay, expect that you're going to get asked a lot of questions. Okay, now if you're somebody that doesn't like to be asked a lot of questions, I would advise you to get over that. All right, get over it. This is your business. You should be proud to talk about what you're doing. If there are some challenges that you're experiencing, be upfront about it, because you'd be surprised on how many people actually really want to help you out. If there's a solution there, it may take longer, which is not ideal for a lot of people, I realize, but hey, taking longer is better than having to shut down because of a mistake that could have been rectified. So guys, if you're at that point, you've been in business for some time, maybe you're even under the 2 years time in business. We have some companies like this. They're under the 2 years time in business who successfully took off and they grew really fast. If you're growing really, really fast, sometimes the banks don't want to lend to you either because you don't have all of your ducks in a row. So when you're at that point, or you're at that stage, or you have achieved substantial revenue, you have to be on top of your financials. So I want to show you guys some projections that you can use. And these are projections that I got. We have projections, but I can't share those because those are client projections. But also, I really like 𝐂𝐫𝐞𝐻. If you guys don't know who 𝐂𝐫𝐞𝐻 is, go follow her. She's got Contrarian Thinking, their community. They've got really great templates for profit and loss, balance sheets, your projections, your PFS, your personal finance statement. These are really great tools. Okay, and if you guys have HubSpot is a great tool too. So let me share with you what I'm talking about here. This is a financial template that you want to use, and I'm using HubSpot's templates just to show you guys the very basic components of what needs to be on there. Your balance sheet, okay, your assets, your liabilities. Now, do you have accounts receivables, inventory? What assets do you have? Do you have land, building, equipment? All of these will go in here, right? Then there's a cash flow statement. This helps you know how much cash that you have to work with. All right, you guys, your P&L, profit and loss, huge, okay? Especially if you're looking for, all of these are important, especially if you're looking for equity investment. But your projections, we want to see projections. If you're going to apply for SBA financing, they want to see your projections. They want to know, where are you headed? Do you have all your ducks in a row? If you don't have all your ducks in a row, then it's an automatic decline, just decline. And then you also personal finance. So keep track of your savings account, your checking account. Do you have a 401k, IRA? What total assets do you have? Do you have any student loans? What debts do you have? Any car debts? All right, keep track of things like personal debts, business debts. There's a debt schedule that the SBA will typically ask for. And with that, you want to make sure that you're implementing any type of loans that you have, okay? Because SBA, they help with, all kinds of loans, especially low interest loans, really great repayment terms. So they are a really great resource, but a lot of people have a lot of trouble getting into SBA financing because they don't know exactly what they're looking for. One thing that will improve your score with SBA financing is establishing business credit, because they do look at that. They take into a number of different factors when they're assessing your business. So if you have business credit, you can actually give yourself some leverage. Let's say you're not in business for that long. You're not generating $1 million in sales, but you've got a great business idea. You've got a great business plan. You've put it on paper. It shows you put some thought into it. You've connected with an accountant. You've connected with a CPA, somebody that can help you with putting these numbers on paper. And they see that you're serious about your business. You can get financed. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen over and over and over again. But it doesn't just happen if you go in there and you're like, guys, I got this great idea and I need 50 grand. So, and they're like, well, what's your credit score like? Well, I got shitty credit, man. I'm living my life. Okay, well, what do you want to do with this business? Well, I'm not really sure, but I know that I'm going to be really good at it. No, that won't work either. So put some thought into this, put some work into this, and make sure that you're staying on top of it, because when you can finance resources like the SBA, and Celtic is one of the lenders that we work with, you can get, and they are excellent with doing SBA loans for women and veterans. They love working with women. They love working with veterans. The cool thing about it, when you step outside of the traditional banks and you start working with alternative finance lenders and private investors and private capital groups, they are so willing to work with you and so willing to, let's say you don't have your documents ready to go at that point, then we can assess it, take a step back, say, hey, okay, this is what we need to do before you go in and apply. Because SBA Express, some banks, they use a portal. And if you can't get through the portal, you have to get through the portal in order to get through to a human sometimes, which is unfortunate. So if you can get through the portal, then you have a pretty good chance. But a lot of people struggle with getting through the portal because they need help with putting what's on the application. When you get these things lined up, y'all, I'm telling you, you will get, there's an endless amount of resources on here. But as you can see, this is another online application, right? So get yourself, and this is an example of what a profit and loss statement looks like. I got this from Contrarian Thinking, Cody Sanchez. So guys, be on top of this because it's only going to help you in the long run. Now let's recap here. We talked about financials today because financials are so important, and a lot of businesses, they just don't think about it, right? We tend to get caught up in the day-to-day. I've got to answer the phone. I've got to contact this client. I've got to send this email. I've got to put these packages together. Oh, I'm having an issue with so-and-so. So-and-so called in today. Oh, my vendor didn't come through. All kinds of things happen. We had everybody in the department got sick. Anything can happen. Your merchant processor shut down. This happened to me. And it was a nightmare. Okay. But what will most people do in situations when they're hit like that? They give up. So what are you going to do? Are you going to give up and give up your future and give up all of your dreams and what you planned for your family? Or are you going to continue and put yourself in a bad position because you're not following the right strategies and figuring out where you are? You're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping somebody says yes. Or are you going to actually take this seriously and be like, this is something that I'm dedicating, I believe in, this is my business, and I'm actually going to take the time to get it set up properly? Because I can tell you guys, it is a huge, huge, huge headache having to go back and rectify a lot of these things. It's an even bigger headache when you have a huge opportunity and you can't capitalize on it because you don't have any of your documentation prepared. The lender will not move forward. Let's say you're getting a $1 million loan. Lender will not move forward without looking at your paperwork, without looking at your bio, without looking at your resume. If you have a pitch deck, even better. So all of these elements are super important. And if you need help with getting advice on any of these, then just feel free to reach out. Go ahead and join our community, the Domino Effect, so that we can continue to share these resources with you, because funding is 100% available to you. You can do it. I believe in you. You just need to believe in you. And you also have to stop living, sorry to say, but you're here for the truth. We got to stop living in this delusion like money is just going to come to us and people are going to save us. And the government, why do you want the government involved in your life so much? Get them out of there. Take control of your own life and take control of your own family's future, but put some thought into it, put some strategy into it, and get with communities just like us and other entrepreneurs and other like-minded entrepreneurs that can really help you. I've been in the alternative finance space for 6 years. I've underwritten hundreds of applications, worked from startups to multi-million-dollar companies, and I know that we can make a change in 2025. So guys, if you find the information on this channel helpful, then do me a favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so I can continue to make more free courses and trainings just like this one. See you next time.